Alright, lovers of freedom, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. You're welcome to this YouTube channel. You know this is the only YouTube channel where you get your legit information. Now, Omotosho have already planned to jail Nnamdi Kanu on 20th of November. Omotosho have already drafted legal documents with the Tinubu camp to jail this particular man come 20th of November. But Nnamdi Kanu is a very smart and very strong man. If not for the intervention of the World Organization, national bodies, United Nations, American congressmen, if not for their intervention, Nnamdi Kanu would have been jailed on 20th of this month, and that will be the start of the war. Because we the Southeast, we the Igbos, we never agreed to that. And the Nigerian government will know this. The jailing of Nnamdi Kanu will bring forth destruction. Because the Nigerian government, the zoo government already is destroyed. And jailing Nnamdi Kanu, believe me, we sink the Tinubu government, we sink the Nigerian government completely, because the world is watching. So I'll be playing a very important video now from our brother, so that you can understand why this man is very smart, and why Omotosho have been seeking to jail this man. These petitions by the World Organization made the Chief Justice of Nigeria to even sanction Omotosho, because the way he's going about this case, final judgment. So the way he's going about this case is very suspicious. That means he has been sanctioned. So we'll be playing the video shortly. If you are joining us now, do well to subscribe to this YouTube channel, and please share your opinions on the comment section, so that we the Biafrans, anywhere you are, whether in diaspora or anywhere in the zoo country called Nigeria, you'll be able to understand what is going on and what is actually happening in Biafraland. So we'll be sharing the video shortly. So leave everything you are doing, even if you are doing something, you can come back and complete this video, so that you can understand what is actually happening, why the Nigerian government are seeking so much to make sure that they jail this man. Remember, Omotosho was the chief judge that handled Imo State election, that gave Hope Uzodinma the governorship ticket to become the governor of Imo State after losing the general election. This was the same Omotosho that destroyed Imo State. And Hope Uzodinma and their so-called Southeast governors are coming out to tell you that they have been talking to Tinubu to release Nnamdi Kanu. They have been looking at Soludo used the release of Nnamdi Kanu for his own political gain. He used Nnamdi Kanu will be released. I have met Tinubu one-on-one. Yeah, foul. They are using the release of this man for their own political gain. None of them are seeking for the interest of Nnamdi Kanu. Hope Uzodinma can never talk to Tinubu regarding the case of Nnamdi Kanu, because he knows how Nnamdi Kanu hates him. And Nnamdi Kanu have vowed to destroy him since after he killed Wikonso. So in this video, we'll be showing you everything that you need to know about the Biafra movement, and anything you need to know about what is actually happening in Appeal Court, and why Nnamdi Kanu is outsmarting the Nigerian zoo government. Now stay tuned as you subscribe. Now let's listen to this our brother.
Stormed the Supreme Court this Thursday, the 13th day of November. Nnamdi Kanu stormed the Supreme Court. Can you believe it? He was there live. You know, yesterday on the 12th, he was at the Appeal Court. Yes, I reported about that. But today, Nnamdi Kanu, which is the 13th day, Thursday, Nnamdi Kanu stormed the Supreme Court of Justice. Yes, you heard me right. You heard me right. He was there. And I will show you everything, and I will take you through even the video and the reason why he was there. Because as you are aware, Nnamdi Kanu is fighting for his self. He has been struggling, fighting to see how he can put an end to this illegal trial that has been happening to him under Justice Omotosho. And he was at the Appeal Court yesterday. But for today, Nnamdi Kanu was at the Supreme Court to do something very significant that may lead to the striking out of his case. This is going to be a master stroke in this case. I want you to calm down and listen and follow me to the end. Watch this video to the end. If it's your first time, subscribe and turn on notification and select the bell that says all notifications to get notified whenever we release a video. I want you to watch Nnamdi Kanu's entrance to the Supreme Court. You will be amazed at the way Nnamdi Kanu shuts down the Supreme Court. In fact, Nnamdi Kanu entered to a rapturous applause from the whole crowd. I was weak. Watch this video.
That's count 7. Okay. I submitted. So when you're not in her office, okay. So this is the thing. They give a directive that count 7 doesn't exist anymore. So that they should amend it, change it. It doesn't exist. I still play to that 740 law.
Yes, it was an error.
No, big error. So I want them to correct that.
That was one of the motions we asked. That appeal should be set aside.
That's correct.
Watching that video almost brought tears to my eyes because I just can't believe my eyes. I just can't believe that I am ready to die for this man. Ladies and gentlemen, I am not mincing words. I am ready to lay down my life for this man at any point in time. I am ready. I am ready to lay down my life for this man any day. That is how it is. We must remain strong and formidable because let me take you through why Nnamdi Kanu was at the Supreme Court. Because as you are aware, yesterday he was at the appeal court to file a motion on notice. But today he was not there at the Supreme Court to file a motion on notice. Rather, he was there to file a letter application to the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court for administrative intervention in his pending proceedings in the High Court. As you are aware, you know that Nnamdi Kanu has filed motions upon motions upon motions to Omotosho, quoting upon quoting upon quoting relevant laws, challenging jurisdiction, challenging the legality of his trial following the repeal of laws of terrorism. But still, Omotosho is jumping and jumping like a frog and refusing to stay at one place and do the right thing. So his letter is asking the Chief Justice of the Federation, to do her job and halt the proceedings from Omotosho. Let me break this down for you in this brief, expose. Listen carefully. Whatever you're doing, please leave it, leave it and focus on this video, or go and finish it up. And when you're done, you come back, because I don't think you want to miss a bit of what I'm about to read to you. Listen. Nnamdi Kanu, the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, personally visited the Supreme Court in Abuja on November 13th, 2025, Thursday, of course, to submit a letter to Chief Justice of Nigeria, Kudirat Kekere Ekun. The letter requests the discontinuation of his ongoing terrorism trial at the Federal High Court in Abuja, arguing that the charges rely on provisions of the Terrorism Prevention Amendment Act 2013, which, he said, was repealed and replaced by the Terrorism Prevention and Prohibition Act 2022. This move aims to halt proceedings ahead of the scheduled judgment on November 20th, 2025 by Justice James Omotosho. Now, what is the context of this submission? Kanu's request builds on recent legal efforts. 1. Repealed law arguments. He contends that counts 1 to 6 in his indictment are invalid because they stem from the 2013 Act, which was suspended in 2022, making his prosecution unconstitutional under Section 1, Subsection 3, Section 36, and 42 of the Nigerian Constitution. For count 7, he cites a prior Supreme Court directive deeming it invalid. Another context of the submission is related appeals. On November 12th, Kanu filed at the Court of Appeal, which I told you yesterday, for a stay of the November 20th judgment pending his appeal against the dismissal of his no-case submission on September 26th, 2025. Which, remember, he filed a second no-case submission. I've always been saying it. That is it. He also filed a motion on November 6th to set aside the Supreme Court's December 15th, 2023 ruling that remitted his case back to the Federal High Court. A preliminary objection on November 11 challenges the trial's validity due to the repealed charges. So this is exactly the context of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's letter to Chief Justice Kekere Ekun. Welcome crowd. In fact, the rapturous welcome Mazi Nnamdi Kanu received at the Supreme Court. That welcome was one to remember ever in the story of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. That welcome is likened to people like Nelson Mandela, Martin Luther, and all great men, lovers of freedom that have lived and are still living around the world. It is not about winning or losing the case. It's about the justice of the common man. It's about the conscience of men. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu does not have anything to prove again to the world because the people love him. Filing the case to the Supreme Court is every way his right and his legal rights under the Constitution of Nigeria and of course the UN that guarantees every human being a right to defend himself whenever he wants to. A right, of course, to try any judgment that has been, meted upon him at any point in time he feels like. So Nnamdi Kanu, of course, is not afraid of any court. But of course, he knows the deficiencies of Omotosho's court, like I've always said here. The deficiencies that are living in the High Court, Abuja, he knows, he's aware. And that is why he is, testing the credibility of the man called Omotosho. Because definitely there are laws, but it depends on the judge who is, interpreting the law. He is not against the High Court, but is against the High Court judge. Because he is the one interpreting on the case. Perhaps if it was another judge may have granted many prayers and motions of Kanu. So this is not about the court alone. It's about the people who make up the institution. Omotosho makes up the institution. And he decides to close an eye, or both eyes, on the issues Kanu has raised. That is why Nnamdi Kanu cannot just sit quiet while a cock and bull judge or a charge and bail judge, because Omotosho definitely is a charge and bail judge, handling his case. This is a man who can't even stand up and argue with Nnamdi Kanu. But look at, because of a country like Nigeria who do not recognize merits, handed over the lives of 250 million people to charge and bail judges. Why will Nnamdi Kanu accept the word of a charge and bail judge? That is why he's going to higher courts. Maybe those ones could have, senior charge and bail judges. Maybe I won't call them judges because they are all the same. They are all the same. They have the same WhatsApp group and meetings. They just shop judgments from themselves. Today is this one. Tomorrow is this one. Next tomorrow is this one. So he's just going to the appeal court to fulfill righteousness. Let it be as it may be one of them might wake up one day in the right side of the bed and decide to do the right thing. But to accept Omotosho's decisions without testing them is a no. Omotosho is a drunkard. He's a drunkard. To accept his decision just like that, no. Let it be that the appeal court and Supreme Court agreed with him. So that tomorrow you will not say, it was a lower court now. We did not, it's not our court, it's a lower court. Why didn't you come to our court? That's where Nnamdi Kanu is going. To report Omotosho to the Supreme Court judge. That letter is a formal report, actually, alerting the Supreme Court Justice, the CJN, Justice Kudirat Kekere Ekun, that you have to be aware of what is going on in the lower court. Yes. Look and look and look at what I have been bringing up in this man's court for the past few months. No case submission, medical issue, this and that, repealed case, strike out my case. Till today, this your lower court judge is turning a blind eye to me. This is no more justice, Oga. Please, this letter is writing you as the chief custodian of law in Nigeria to come and see and perhaps come and help, because 7 days to go, this man will do rubbish. He will just do rubbish and run away. That is why he's at the Supreme Court, basically. And yesterday he was at the appeal court, but for a different reason, because it's not the same. That was a motion on notice. That one now, the appeal court is going to inform the prosecution, which will still be able to file their own appeal. But this one at the Supreme Court is ex parte. That means it's one-sided. It's not inviting the prosecution to come and say anything. He is the one writing a letter. It's just a request, a formal request to the Supreme Court conscience, to the conscience of the country. Because the Supreme Court is like the country. The judgments given in Supreme Court and the decisions given in Supreme Court cuts through the emotions, the sensibilities, and the general feeling of the country at every given point in time. So whatever Omotosho does in that court, the Supreme Court will sit down and assess the mood, assess the feelings, assess the conscience, and overall there is hierarchy. Any order given by a junior officer in the military can only be overridden by the senior officer in the same military. That means any order Omotosho is about to give, any omission Omotosho has committed in his court, any commission or any oversights and decisions he has decided not to do or failed to do, or wrong decisions about to give, based on the evidences that has been brought to him and has been overlooking, the Supreme Court can't compel him to recognize those applications, to go again and revisit some things he decided to omit. The Supreme Court can tell Omotosho to summon those witnesses that he failed to summon. The Supreme Court can tell him that he can strike out the case, 1 or 2 or 3 charges. The Supreme Court can tell him that he should grant Nnamdi Kanu medical, request. Because these things have been filed in the court, which is Nigerian court. And once a case is filed in Nigerian court, any court above at any point in time has the right to look into it. So these are the implications going down from the 13th to the 20th. The Supreme Court can give counter orders and counter directives to Omotosho. So is this a masterstroke? Yes, of course. This is a huge masterstroke and a very big, significant intervention in this case. And this is a part of law, a part of argument, a part of, doings that many people do not do. Extensive jurisprudence, going to the length and breadth, challenging your case. These are the things that Nnamdi Kanu's lawyers were meant to do. These are the things that those sons were supposed to do. They have the powers to understand the legality, the legal sagacity of Constitution, and how to rigmarole and how to exploit loopholes in every given point in time as regards the Constitution. Moreover, knowing well that most of them are constitutional lawyers who know the law more than most others. That is why they were made senior advocate of Nigeria. But I'm not talking about them for today. I am talking about 20th of November coming up next 7 days. Nnamdi Kanu is a fearless warrior, a man who has taken his case by storm ever since he took over and has recorded more success than any lawyer has done for him since the inception of his case.